I broke the ice. Right, let's get cracking. Okay, cool.
Okay, we are here at Topaz with Mazin and Nabil, who are the founders.
Hello.
Owners,
Hello.
guys in charge.
Hello.
And before we mainly start, can you give us a little explanation of, just a brief explanation of what you do at Topaz? And
Sure. I mean, we started the business just over 9 years ago. As Nabil was mentioning earlier, it was our 90th anniversary a few days ago. So the business has been going for nearly a decade, and it's been a fun ride. I mean, we started the business through the passion of cars. Our background was property for many years before we started this business. But we always felt there was a gap or a niche in the way cars were detailed and prepared through our own cars. And as a consequence, we had a OCD with perfection and the cosmetics and aesthetics and paint and so on. And it stemmed from, our uncle having a body shop and so on and so forth. There was a lot of trigger points as when we were kids that kind of led us subconsciously, potentially, to this path. And we really enjoyed what we did. So as a consequence, we started pursuing the path of, why can we achieve the standard of finish on paint, and why there isn't other companies doing it to this sort of level? And that was the real inception of Topaz.
And that's because obviously we had our own cars before, and I remember we'd spend hours and hours and hours on a Sunday, literally detailing, and trying to get the paintwork to look amazing. And as amateurs, when you try to do it never works out to how you want it to be, right? That's the thing. It's just
sand all the way through the paint.
It never works. But then it's like we were like, actually,
amateurs is a harsh word. I think enthusiasts is more applicable, right?
Enthusiasts. No, but honestly, but there's enthusiasts that really know their stuff.
That's right.
They really know their stuff. They're die-hard detailers, which are great.
Yeah, I suppose you're right.
But then there's amateurs who
we're enthusiasts at that point in time, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We're inexperienced, but we were very enthusiastic.
We're a professional amateur. Does that make sense? But then an enthusiast in terms of detailing.
Yeah.
But that and I think that was the point where we were like, okay, we can get a decent finish now, and we're doing this part time. How about we push it to the next level?
And were you doing it for other people at that point?
No, just our cars. Yeah, it was just for us.
Family cars, friends cars. And it was a hobby on the side. And I suppose a lot of great ideas, concepts, businesses start from a spark, a trigger point, a passion for something. And that was our passion. Our passion was cars. I mean, we are die-hard petrol heads, and that goes through our veins, So it's we thought we'd do something we enjoy, and we're very successful in what we did previously, and we thought, you know what, let's do something we thoroughly enjoy, and that was the start of the business.
Because I think that sort of time ago, 9 years ago, detailing and PPF and stuff were nowhere near as prevalent as now. And I remember people asking, and I asked, it was like, why would you detail a car? Like, and then that led on to sort of why might you PPF a car? But the concept to some people of detailing a car is like, and for most of the time, actually, I think I'm a happier person if I knew absolutely nothing about detailing and paint. Because you look at a car and you go, that's nice. And then like you might come along and go, there's a bit of overspray here. Like this bit's been fixed. Have you seen the swirls? Like, how can you live with that?
But then as soon as you are educated on it, you're like, oh, okay. And then the next car you look at, you're like, hold on, there's this and this and this. It's like a disease.
It is.
Honestly.
Only negative.
And financially draining.
But I think at the start it was harder for us because we had to re-educate people on what the process is. It was really difficult. I mean, it was literally at that time. It was us, and there was Miracle Detailer, Paul Dalton. He was there as well from the beginning, doing his thing, and it was basically us two that were trying to push detailing in the UK. There wasn't anyone else really that was doing. It wasn't like now every person who is a valeter now says that they're detailers. Do you know what I mean? I think, but I think that was harder for us back then, and then it becomes easier and easier when more and more people do it and help social media.
In terms of awareness of the marketplace, I definitely think that we were right at the forefront in the beginning in creating a brand, we're trying to create a brand in the beginning, which actually sort of packaged the customer experience from start to finish and the quality work, the right quality work. We always advise people on what the do's and don'ts are. We always try to educate people on the process. I mean, the hardest thing is when you sat in a group of people or whatever it is, you know, socially or at work or whatever, and then people say, so what is it you do? You know, and then you try to explain what detail. It's quite a difficult thing to explain. So we tried to, as a business, we thought, well, the simplest way of explaining what we do, and this is part of the education process, is the business has 3 pillars. We enhance, we protect, and we maintain cars. So by enhancing, we make them look better than when they left the factory, or it's an improvement on the existing sort of state and the condition of the vehicle, aesthetically in terms of bodywork. So it looks shinier, layman's terms, just to make people understand the process. We protect via ceramic coatings, paint protection film, whatever this client decides he wishes, and maintain is a maintain part of the business that
to keep it looking
good all the way through. So we simplified the actual proposition so it can be palatable for people to understand what we actually do, and that was quite a difficult thing to explain to people.
Yeah, I think at the beginning of just getting my head around detailing, it never really, unless it's a car you don't drive very often.
Yeah.
Just detailing a car.
Yeah.
You've got to detail it all the time. Like they're going to get messed up.
Yeah,
so if it's you do it every now and then. But as soon as we started seeing PPF on the scene, and I think it was the first car I'd seen that it really clicked, I think was Tim's 650S.
Yeah, the green one. Yeah.
And he sort of pointed out that if you detail a car well, and then PPF it, that it's an expensive initial process, but that lasts.
You see really the goodness.
And then the color of that car was quite in your face and loud, but it looked perfect. And it looked perfect pretty much for the entire time you had the car. Whereas as soon as you start getting scratches, the reflection starts to go, the colours don't pop as much. And that was, for me, it was the first point of time where I thought, okay, there's something in this. And then you can go and get your car washed in like a £5 garage anyway, and don't worry about it.
Correct.
There's nothing going to happen.
Correct. And I mean, paint protection films are a major. I mean, we always had this vision from the start. Again, in the same way that detailing wasn't sort of created by us and packaged. In the same way that paint protection film, there was a need for it, because we found that there was a worry of people that detailed their cars and didn't want to drive them because they looked so good. And so we needed to find a solution for our clients that suffered from that. You know, we're petrol heads. We want to go out on drives. We want to drive our cars. We want our customers drive our cars, enjoy their cars. We don't want cars that get tucked into collections and not used. We want them to go out and experience the cars.
Yeah, but just to cut you off, that was an option when we first started, because the product, paint protection film, was horrible. I mean, it was yellow. It looked like plastic. The way that the designs were done, the patterns all cut on by hand. It just looked horrible, and we'd never want to have that on our Topaz car, because it would dull it down. Do you know what I mean?
The product was substandard. You know, 9 years ago, the product was substandard.
I remember that's the sort of thing I think about. Like, for example, my GT3 RS came with a little like scratch guard type thing on the arches, which
armor
like this. It's like thick stuff that slowly, actually, oh my god, it hasn't, but you see it on cars where it's just yellowed. And that was the big thing where people were like, okay, if I put this on my car, how long before it goes yellow? Because I don't want my car to look like that.
Exactly. It looks like there's plastic on your car. It just takes away from the whole thing that we were doing. We're trying to detail and get the most out of the paintwork, and then you put the stuff on, and then it just like, it looks horrible. You know what I mean? It's taking away from it.
It adds a lot of orange peel. It looks coarse on the car. It really detracts from what we're doing. So back then it wasn't an option, but as the paint protection film industry evolved, the product got a lot better. And as a consequence, we decided to take it upon ourselves to really open up the UK market. Not a lot of people know this, but you know, in the beginning, we were at the forefront of opening up the paint protection film market with PPF. I mean, PPF, because we thought paint protection film was too long of a word to send it to you, we sort of abbreviated it to PPF, and now everyone calls it PPF. It's right at the beginning. So ultimately, from our point of view, the product had evolved, and we put our know-how, OCD expertise, to making sure that we design all our own templates to make sure that the patterns fit correctly on the cars.
Yeah, and that was the biggest challenge.
Yeah.
That was the biggest challenge because you can get patterns from different countries, and
you get it from Expel, you can get it from anywhere.
You can get patterns from everywhere. There's people have been doing it for years, since the Armafend days, basically creating patterns. Whether they fit or not is a whole other thing, but they're creating patterns. For us, it was the difficulty was getting patterns that fit to our standard. And at that time, Expel doing a great job with their software and everything else, which is, was really helping Excel.
It boosted the whole market.
That's a game changer, was Expel software. But we decided to continue with our patterns, because the way that you design a pattern is the way it should be installed.
Right.
To get the optimum finish. And because we didn't know how the patterns were designed, whether how good they are or how bad they are, we still didn't know how they were designed. So it wasn't the optimum way of installing it to get the result that we wanted. But it's really costly for us, though. We went down the costly route, where we had to design every single car that's coming in. And the costs are like insane because we're using the actual raw material to design the pattern.
What's the how do you go about making a pattern for a car? Like, what is that process? It's
without revealing too many stuff, but I mean, it's in as a sort of bird's eye view. You take the shape of the car, of the panel that you're doing. Once you've got that panel, the shape, you have to use the raw material, because if you use anything else, it doesn't work.
Like some people use tracing paper, things like that. It's not. It doesn't. Even if you use substandard film to actually create a pattern, it doesn't work.
Because it's not the same stretch. You have the stretch. You have different. I mean, the material reacts in a different way. When you move it here, you put it here, you tug it there, it reacts in a different way. So you have to use the actual material that you're going to be installing to pattern it. So anyway, so you take a pattern you of the actual physical car. So you have to have access to these cars early, which, after building up our business, we have access to these cars early. And then you digitize it. So then you put what is a actual physical item and then make it into a digital format. Once it goes into a digital format, then you design it in a software to round off the edges, make sure that it's within tolerances, how it fits around, make everything symmetrical, the whole process of making it look pretty. But then that's not it, because then you have to install that pattern. So you cut it out. You
say front wing.
Yeah, say a front wing of a car. You've done all that process. You've spent the money to actually put the material on. You've got the pattern of the car. You digitized it, and then now you've got the process of installing it and adjusting it furthermore. Because it's never going to be 100% perfect the first time you do it. So you basically put it on, take it off, put it on, take it off, adjust it, put it on, take it off, adjust it.
You go through about two to three adjustments until it's signed off for production.
This is for us. I'm talking about. I mean, people. Different people have different standards, right? I can't comment on anyone else's standard, but what we do is we make sure that it's literally to the point where we go, I know that it's going to fit on and it's going to fit on perfectly.
Now, it must help that you. I mean, every time I come here, I come to buy this, just like scores and scores of ridiculous cars parked outside. I think, like just off the top of my head, there's like a new piece there. There's a couple of GT2 RSs. There's like loads of crazy stuff. And you've probably got to get that volume before iterating it that number of times. If you're only doing one car, that's a bit of a larger process. But if you've started doing a lot.
I mean, as a business, so we get a lot of special projects. For example, Koenigseggs, Bucanis, and the classic cars, classic Ferraris, like the Testarossa we showed you. So if I actually showed you a door from the last Testarossa we did that was pre-cut, we put it onto this door. we're talking 2-3 mil difference between the two doors, between edge to edge. Like it is massively off. So, and what we don't do is we don't just put it on, cut it, and then just get on with it. No, we have to readjust it. Now, as a business, we can't be charging clients exactly the cost and the extra time it takes to design these special projects.
Or whatever,
We have to take an overall view,
a commercial
point of view to say, right, if we're doing this Koenigsegg or this Zonda for this customer, because we're so blown away by our work and the effort we put in and the hours of R&D that's gone into that project. Every pattern is assigned to their chassis number, so they get a bespoke, tailor-made suit in a way for their car. Yeah, and when they want to come if they scratched a sill or a wing and they want to replace it, recut it on the chassis and so on. And we build our business on a lot of goodwill over the years, and people really appreciated that. Hence why we did over 2,000 cars last year.
That's a lot of
super
cars.
And hypercars. That's ridiculous. If you think about it, that's a ridiculous amount of cars. Yeah. And it's not to say that, 2,000 cars, you're getting them in and out. No, we have quite a big team. We've got the infrastructure to support such a volume of cars, and they're coming for a reason.
Yeah.
The reason is we're the best in the business of what we do.
Yeah, I think it's I think you learn so much when you grow the business. It depends what your mission statement is. And for our perspective was always to get big enough, but to keep the quality being absolutely there. And that's one of our mission statements for us as a business. Yeah. Quality is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Everything else comes afterwards. So you got quality, straight after that you got customer journey as well, so the Topaz journey. So those two are our two pillars. I mean, for our business, what we stand for.
I mean, how many times have you been here and you've been around, especially today? You can comment on the quality standards that we have.
Yeah, we just did a little walk around before this podcast.
Yeah.
I was like, what are all these bits of tape on this car? And there was there's loads of bits of tape everywhere. I'll put in a little photo or whatever. Yeah. And that we were just saying that you were saying that's the things that the quality control guys have gone around and highlighted. Yeah. And you look at these things and they're tiny little bits that then maybe get adjusted or whatever, and it gets worked on. But I was saying it's very much like when I'm editing a photo sometimes, or I don't have to do this much so now because I've changed the process a little bit, but you take a picture of a car in a dead car park or in a cool place, but there's stuff all over the floor. Now, way back when I used to just take the picture and edit out all the rubbish. Now I will realise that takes time. So you go and you kick the cans out of the way, do the simple stuff in 3 seconds. But the difference between removing 400 tiny little objects from a picture versus not removing them. When the viewer looks at it, they don't know why one looks better than the other. You can't tell why, but one just looks better. And I imagine it's this overall perception you have of the finished product. If all these tiny little things have been done, the customer's probably never going to notice them. No. But the overall impression is this was done well, rather than oh, there's a little...
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, and following through on that point, what we are going to really have a push on now moving forward is, because the market has evolved, a lot of new players are coming into the marketplace, is really show people what we're about, what's made us Topaz. And we're going to start to educate the marketplace on what to look for. Essentially like a quality control check for customers on the jobs.
I think it's quite a nice idea. You can do a YouTube series.
Absolutely.
Series of videos,
absolutely.
And I think it's important to educate the market more so. I mean, we did it at the beginning. Then we're doing well. We continue doing the cars, getting more cars in, getting really good customer feedback, getting more repeat business, which is great. It shows that you're doing the right things in a business. But I think, as Mazin touched on, now is the right time to show what really has got us to the stage.
What differentiates this brand?
I think it's really nice doing that for people. I've seen there's one guy in the States, I can't remember his name, who's done a detailing series. Is it Larry,
Ammo NYC.
Ammo NYC. And he started it off just doing YouTube videos of his detailing, and I think that brand has built up loads over the future, and now everyone wants him to detail their car. But you're just starting it off as providing information for enthusiasts such as yourselves 10 years ago, etc.
Yeah.
And what you are inadvertently doing is educating everyone kind of why you are good or not good. And then it allows your customers to make a more informed decision. And also just equally like harass you if you've messed up.
Of course, which is what we're all up for. I mean, to follow on that point, there's a lot of copycatting going on in this industry, and that separates. We have nothing to hide. So by putting those videos out there, we're inadvertently educating the marketplace. And no doubt people will try to copy that standard, but ultimately, at least the consumer knows what to expect. And that's the key thing. That's the key thing. It's managing expectations and educating the marketplace.
No, definitely. Of course, It's important. As I said, quality is so important. I mean, that's what people do. I mean, especially with paint protection film, because it's supposed to be invisible. You can't see it. So that's why we're wrapping the edges wherever we can. We're trying to adjust our patterns so that they fit in a way where you can't see them. As much as possible. Obviously, there's a material limitation of the material, obviously, but it's years of trying to obsessively get it looking better and better and better and better.
And sometimes people don't know what they're looking for. So when they see a car that's just been done, if they're new to the PPF industry, it looks great, it looks shiny, it looks fine. But ultimately, they don't know what they're looking for because the marketplace is not mature enough to actually understand what to look for. And I think these videos would be a really good idea. I think that would really help.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, we were saying about the detailing. I mean, the ideal is if you're a customer and it looks perfect and that's it, job done. Like it doesn't, you don't, if someone points out why it's not perfect, that's, you know what to look for next time or whatever. But there's definitely, I've seen an evolution of PPF over, even I would say, not that long ago. It was quite different to how it is now. Like what have you seen the sort of significant changes in how stuff's done? Like, is there some big stuff that's changed over the last 5 years?
I think it's more okay. Right. So getting a paint protection film installer is a very difficult thing.
I
mean, sorry. Let me rephrase that. Getting a good paint protection film installer is a very difficult thing. Getting a paint protection film installer is an easy thing, right? You can get anyone that can try to put some film on. But getting a good one to our standard is really, really difficult. And I think what we've noticed, I can only say again what we've done internally, but from our training program, because now we're a bigger team and we've got more people that are involved in applying paint protection film, they got more mileage, we'd like to put it, with paint protection film. It's just become easier to get a better quality finish without having to spend so much time to get the right finish. Do you know what I mean? But I think from a manufacturer point of view, I think that the materials are getting better and better. They're getting better and easier to work with, which is really good. And they're getting more optically clearer. And I think the manufacturers now are spending more and more money on paint protection film because the market is getting big. And there's a lot of people that are jumping on the bandwagon, and there's a lot of people that want to get involved in paint protection film. Varying qualities, obviously, but the manufacturer of who is selling the film, they're like, okay, people are buying.
Way more now. I mean,
a lot more.
But the market penetration is still, if you look at number of cars sold versus the uptake of PPF in the UK market, for example, it's still 0.00% because it's targeted only on the high-end stuff.
Well, that's it. Because to get a car PPF is at the moment very expensive. So you would only really do it on a car that you think
is worth it.
It's cost you X amount, or you probably see actually quite a lot of cars come in that someone might have had for someone who's evolved, and they may have other supercars or whatever, but they've sent in this like old Beta that they've had for like 20 years, and they're like, let's get that sorted out.
Well, what's the last one? That a rally? Was it the 106 rally or something?
No,
was it
let me make sure I get this right. It's, and I can stand corrected if I'm wrong. I think it's a 205 CTI.
Right.
Peugeot 205C. You know, you got the 1.9 GTI at the time. This one is a convertible version of that, and they made quite a limited amount of them. And the owner, who happens to own other cars, including like a 275 and a Ferrari and all that sort of stuff, wanted that car, sentimental value, wanted that car detailed and protected. and completely patterned from scratch. Which we found amazing, and it's nice to see people like that passionate about their cars. And that's one of the joys of being in our industry, is you find people that really, it's not about the money, it's about the passion and the sentiment that goes with that car. And as petrol heads, that's quite nice to see.
Is there a difference, or that you've come across, between people? There's a certain mindset of people that will PPF their cars. Now, obviously, that is a very wide spectrum of human. Do you think they're different to the people that wouldn't PPF? Because there's some people that just are like, no, I don't see the point, or I don't want to spend the money. Obviously, we're assuming it's an expensive car.
I think those camps of people are either one of two things: collectors who don't use the car, who literally buy it, put it aside, and they know they're never going to do a single mile on the car, so they're like, what's the point? Or two, the person who doesn't know what the benefits are, or hasn't had it before.
Doesn't quite understand it.
I think, and there's a lot of old school people there, and usually with the ones that have been old school buying for like the last 35, 40 years, supercars, and they're like, well, what, you're putting cling film on the car? You know, they don't understand it. It's
You're ruining this nice paint job.
Exactly. And they again, that's part of the re-education process. I think then they compare it to what the old Scotchgard 3M stuff that used to be in the 80s, whatever it is, and that's what they compare it to. And they're like,
and also following off that point, there's a misconception where people say, oh well, I'll just ceramic coat it and it'll do the same thing, it's H9 hardness, whatever it is. Well, let's just put the brakes on for 1 second. Ceramic coatings do work in the sense that they will go on top of PPF to protect the pores of the PPF and to keep the PPF looking shinier for longer. But ultimately, they won't protect against stone chips. They won't protect against bird lime landing on the car. They won't do the fundamental things that paint protection film sets out to do. So they'll
delay. Delay it. They'll delay. So, for example, if bird lime drops on the car, it will delay the process of it burning through the clear coat
by a number of hours.
It gives you like a force field, right, of a very short time. But sometimes that works for people. You know what I mean? That might be be good depending on your budget, because ultimately ceramic coating a car is
cheaper,
substantially cheaper than
it's a fraction of the price of PPFing it. But the main purpose of the coating is to make it easier to keep the car cleaner for longer, and it probably adds about 15% gloss factor onto the paint or the PPF. So it does have benefits, but there's a misconception there that is important to identify the difference between.
It's definitely I do find it funny. You come across some people sometimes and they're like, okay, I've ceramic coated. I think in the Middle East, PPF hadn't really penetrated that much, and ceramic coating has sort of been around before. And you'd hear people say, I've ceramic coated my car, therefore it's like safe from stone chips and whatever.
Everything.
And like,
from swirls.
It's better. Like, my understanding is like you'll insert like fire 100 like units of damage at a car, and like you might only get 50%. Or 20% of what it would be, whereas PPF, you're narrowing that down a lot, and also you're not generally fundamentally damaging your paint if something goes wrong.
No, exactly, and exactly that. I think there is there is a argument to say put ceramic coating on your paintwork for sure. You know what I mean? It just needs to be sold in the correct way. I think customers' expectations need to be managed, where you know what you're going to get for that. You know what I mean?
X product, whatever. X
no,
result.
exactly. And if the film, to go just touching on the film side of things, at the start, it's there just to do a job. It's literally there to do a job. So it didn't look good. It wasn't made to look nice or retain the gloss factor, whatever it was. And that's what we've been working on to try to, and with the manufacturers very closely, to say to them, can you change this? Can you change that? Can you make it like this? Can you make it like that? So there's been a lot in the background that we've been involved in, because we buy so much film globally. We're very high up in terms of the purchasing power of what we buy as one single shop. So it's they like to hear what what we're struggling with, what we're not struggling with, what's good, what's bad, all that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, it's obviously good to have that relationship with them.
Yeah.
For everyone.
Yeah.
Something I've noticed over the last, I don't know when it sort of started, but and possibly a reason why like I would 100% have to have PPF on certain cars is manufacturers, like a lot of stuff is now being made with carbon fiber, carbon fiber splitters and like little fins on the side of the car and all this sort of stuff, which are normally in like you've shown. There's a Project 8, Jaguar Project 8 downstairs, and like right behind the rear wheels is like a massive ton of carbon fiber that's just gonna get sandblasted.
Where it says no step.
Yeah. And that sort of thing, you PPF it, drive it 5,000 miles, you can just rip the PPF off, put it on again.
On those super vulnerable areas, what we tend to do sometimes, like that Project 8, is we will double up the PPF, or on the 600 LT, which is the leading edge, or the Senna, where everything is directly behind the tires. Literally, I mean, hot rubber will catapult stones at maybe a 3-inch gap at sort of 150 mile an hour. 200 microns PPF might not be enough to safeguard the paintwork. So we double up certain areas to make sure that the paintwork's protected as best as possible. So yeah.
But that comes with experience, though, doesn't it? That's the thing. It comes with experience of seeing so many of these cars back to go, actually, we need to put that there. We need to do this there. We need to do that.
I mean, we work closely with Mclaren, and we, on their test vehicle, their test Senna, their prototype, was orange one at the time when they launched it at the Winter Ball. That car went around the Nürburgring, it was setting lap times, all sorts of stuff. So we went to MTC and used that car when we designed the Senna templates as a mule to find out what bits got absolutely obliterated. And there's a lot of bits that got obliterated. I remember taking a video and pictures of them, and we applied that in our design philosophy when we modified the templates and the patterns and doubled up in various areas. So it's quite important.
And also we've got some nutcase clients who drive really expensive cars on like, they don't care. They're like, I don't care. The car is meant to be driven, and they drive it. They drive P1s, LaFerrari, whatever it is. They don't care. And I love that. That's what I would do if I had one of those.
I love meeting people like that. I've got some friends in like full spectrum. And some people that just don't drive this stuff very much. And then some people, like you said, who will, because they own like quite a few nice cars, and they just have that attitude. It's a car. I like driving cars, so I'm going to drive my whatever. Value.
It's there to be driven.
It's there to be driven, and it's nice that you can protect it a little bit in that process. But
exactly.
Have you probably, I mean, whether you can say or not, like, what's the most tricky car? Is there like one car that stood out that was say the most difficult one you've done? Or
I think.
Well, to be honest, it depends from what perspective, because in paint protection film you got two angles. You got cars that have a lot of panels that are relatively easy to install, and you got cars that are
like a Aventador. Has a lot of panels. Or like
something along those lines. Or you have a car that's very technical. For example, P1 GT rear quarters. Or for example, the GTR LMs where there's like the front wings, or the Bentley GT, the front wings where they dip
or the
down.
365, the old Porsches.
Oh yeah, that was a joy.
That was a joy. That was probably one of the hardest ones, to be honest, because there is no sharp edges. It's all the curves.
It's like a bubble. The car's a bubble.
It's literally like a circle.
Wrapping a ball, if anyone's tried to Christmas wrap a football.
You get the excess material going everywhere.
And because again, you remember we're like OCD in terms of aesthetics, so it needs to look like, we can't just have a join line just in the middle of the bonnet.
So to answer that question, I think one of the hardest cars we've ever done was that Porsche 365.
I think so.
Coupe.
And funny enough,
the coupe.
And funny enough, it's the smallest. It's a small car. Small car. It shouldn't take long.
It's how technical that car was, because we couldn't just put the film on and cut it on the car.
Oh god, we lost a lot of money on that car, honestly.
Yeah. The amount of refits we had to do.
We lost a lot of money on that. Honestly, it would have been better if we just we wrote out a check of £5,000 and given it to the customer and said, thank you very much, but just keep the car. We're not gonna do it for you. Thank you. That's that car we lost.
There are a lot of technical. I mean, the Senna was we're getting better at it now, but it's a very, very difficult car overall. It's got a lot of panels, it's got some technical panels, it's got some easy panels. I mean, look at the back end of that Senna. Look at the diffuser, it's mental.
I think it's about 220 something pieces of film that go onto that Senna. 222, 220, I can't remember the exact number, but it's about over 200 pieces of film.
A few cars we've done. So we did the Geneva Pagani Huayra BC a while ago when it first came out.
2 years ago.
And it had the two-tone, slip down, sort of, matte and then gloss.
And then wheel covers.
And the whole thing. No, that was the that was the BC.
Sorry, that was the Zonda.
Yeah, the convertible.
Final.
The final.
That was Horatia's one. What was it? What was it called? Oh god, it's left my mind. But yeah, that was the Zonda. But no, the Huayra BC when it was launched was the white and blue. I can't remember, but it was a very difficult car because you had to butt up the templates perfectly where the seam was, where the paint went from gloss to matte and vice versa. So that was quite a difficult car.
Tricky
car too.
Dealing with all like the full spectrum of the high end cars and like all cars. Have you found? Are there some manufacturers or like one manufacturer that you stands out that when a car's delivered, you're like, that car is like, we don't have to do much correction on it. There's not like some dodgy painting or the panels or whatever. Is there like a manufacturer that stands out?
Yeah, I mean,
Barchetta.
I was about to say the Barchetta.
Yes.
Yeah. So the Barchetta.
It was bugging me. Yeah. I had to Google it.
Yeah, no, it just flashed back in my head.
Yeah, I had to Google it. I was trying to delete that car from my mind.
No, we haven't done that car.
No, I know, that's what I mean.
We haven't done that.
To think that never existed, because if we did get that car.
Zondas are fantastic, but they don't match up left to right.
Because they're handmade. Obviously, yeah.
So there's a lot of adjustments on the kits.
It's similar to a classic, any classic Ferrari.
Correct.
Or
the wires
Porsche.
are a lot better, they're more symmetrical.
But what a cracking car to work on though. Like they look amazing. But personally, I love the Zondas. Anyway.
But to answer your question, Bugattis tend to be amazing in terms of engineering, build quality, lack of finish. They are just the pinnacle of what they do. Personally speaking, from our experience, in terms of, like, if you get a Chiron now, it requires minimal paint correction, if any. And then it's just everything, the way the edges fall into the gaps, it's just a panel gaps, it's just a marvel of engineering, we find. Bugatti really are sort of a step up above everyone else in terms of fit and finish.
It's a funny one, that one. Like, I remember someone at one point in time said, if you're buying any car, get someone that knows about detailing and whatever to check it over before you take delivery. And I mean, the stories I hear, and loads of people I know, cars have been here and then they're like, oh, it had to go back to get fixed. But it as long as that gets done, I'm okay with the whole process. As long as the manufacturer is like, if we send it to you, there's stuff wrong, we'll fix it. But it's crazy. It seems to be crazy, the amount of stuff that it does need doing on brand new cars.
They have to draw a line, don't they?
Just to comment on that, manufacturers draw the line there. In terms of, that's our quality standard for our paint finish, that's the quality standard what we have to do. They have to bear in mind production times and everything else. It's a business end of the day, and the R&D cost has gotten more money into the gearbox and the transmission, for example, or the engine and gearbox, and they have to draw the line somewhere. Now, I want to mention certain manufacturers, but certain manufacturers, quality standards when it comes to finishing leaves a lot to be desired. It is absolutely shocking. But ultimately we're here, our niche exists to refine and cater those paint finishes. and that's part of existence, part of the reason why we exist.
But it's interesting that you've said that Bugatti are at the top, and I know they always market themselves as at the top with no competitors, and you kind of go, well, okay, there's loads of other cars that potentially, similar price bracket now that could be competitors.
Yeah.
But I quite like the fact that, okay, so they just say they're above everyone else, but then from your point of view, their cars arrive, and they're in exceptional condition, and you're like, okay, they're
not BSing.
They're not bullshit.
From our experience, the cars, even from the door handle, from what you touch and feel, they are engineering masterpieces. Everything's been engineered, over-engineered.
Yeah. I mean, listen, the design is some people like it, some people don't like it. When you look at a designing perspective, Horatio has done a phenomenal job with his cars, in my personal opinion. From a design point of view, they look. I mean, if you are asked to draw a hypercar, you would draw a Pagani. You would draw any Pagani, especially the Zonda. That's what a hypercar looks like, in my opinion.
Some of our clients might disagree. I know quite a few that passionately disagree.
No, but I'm talking about from a design perspective.
Exactly,
for me, anyway, what it looks like, I would go Pagani Zonda.
You're a Zonda man,
through and through. I mean, I would love to have one.
I think because people would say, you talk to different people about different cars, and lots of people would put the F1 GTR at the top, and it probably is the top of my all-time awesomeness, bit of history and whatever.
Yeah.
And then I, for many, 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 many years, have just been like Zondas. They're the one. I feel like everyone growing up now, it fast forwards 10, 20 years when people might be able to buy, or it's starting to get to the point where people are selling companies and have loads of money. Zondas are the one that everyone has had on their wall as ultimate porn.
It is. I think it's because of the way they look. I think it's because they are. I think because of the sound they make as well. I mean,
it's a naturally aspirated AMG engine with a manual gearbox in a lot of instances. It doesn't get much better than that from a technical point of view.
But there's so many. There's other players out there who are also doing a phenomenal job. The new cars are coming out as well.
The new Koenigseggs are monsters.
Yeah, I know.
In terms of performance, they are a joke.
Yeah, that was something I've talked about quite a lot recently. Is obviously the Speedtail has been released. Have you had one in yet?
No, not yet.
But we will. I'm sure we'll get the first one into to template and pattern.
But that
spoiler thing's going to be interesting to
obviously film. I'm aware you have associations with all manufacturers now, so you don't you can't I don't know whether you're allowed to sort of say whatever you want to say. But in that one, just on a performance figures point of view, it came out and I sort of felt it's just not fast enough. If you're going to go the Speedtail, if you're going to go down that route of which the sort of thing they've done with the Senna as well, they've said kind of we're going to throw aesthetics out, not completely out of the way, but we're putting performance first.
They put them out completely out of the way.
And they put the aesthetics completely out of the way, and you look at it and go, I don't know what you've done with that, but for me with the Speedtail, it's got a lot of cool stuff about it, and I'm sure it will be very fast. But its sort of headline figure with those cars is top speed and acceleration, and in none of those categories is it the fastest when it was released. It will get mullered by a Koenigsegg. And Koenigsegg's look very
disappointing,
good.
Isn't it? Yeah, it's disappointing that it's not that.
But it's supposed to be a GT. They're packaging it as a GT car.
It is going to be a GT car, and actually
more usable potentially
a lot more usable. I was never really a Veyron and a Chiron like that sort of person, but I think as time has gone on and I've done more track driving, and I've realised what cars are fun to drive on track, and conversely what cars are fun to drive on the road. A car like that's more of a GT car makes more sense because I'm not really going to drive it on track.
100%, and I can agree with you because I had the GT3, which is not one of those, and it's not that harsh, but still for me personally, I didn't like it on the road. For me, I thought it was too choppy. I thought it was just too. It was too focused on for track purposes that it took away a bit of the damp. I mean, for example, with the Ferraris, you got the button where you can make it a bit softer,
yes,
right?
Porsche need that button.
Yeah, they need that button. But if you look at, for example, the Turbo S, which is what it's supposed to be, that's a phenomenal daily. You can drive that every single day.
It's a lot softer.
Everywhere. It's softer and it also performs. But from a really track-focused car, like GT3, GT3 RS, GT2 RS, they're very track-focused. I mean, funny enough, the GT2 RS feels more drivable than the GT3 and the GT3 RS.
It's the whole demeanour of the car, to be honest with you. I mean, I run both. And the GT2 is a lot more relaxed in its demeanor. I dare say it's more of a GT car, but it has more usability than a naturally aspirated engine where you have to scream the whole time.
Just down to engine, really.
Yeah, the engine makes
Torque delivery and
the engine. It's just a lot more relaxed.
But doesn't the gearbox feel a bit smoother? I don't know. It just feels a bit like
the gearbox
maybe
software.
That's got something to do.
No, the gearbox software in the GT2, according to Porsche, is obviously a notch up from the GT3s because it's straight out of the 918. And then it's modified again to update.
And it's built around that engine.
It is. Yeah. It's a lot more relaxed.
You just don't. GT3, I guess the engine. It's like we want to sort of rev a bit, whereas and not just like just boom 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 through gears. Whereas that amount. I mean, what amount of time do you really use? Let's say your car revs to 9. Like, do you really 9? Like,
I mean, unless when we went to Germany, we drove when we first got our GT3s.
I did 9,000 all the time.
Yeah, but Mazin is a different type of human. I don't think many humans exist in the way that you do. Where you go out of your house at 9,000 RPM. I think it's a bit different, but safely as well.
Was it Top Gear that did a clip with it was a new GT3. I think it was a 991 when it came out, and it was like using launch control. It was talking about launch control. And I feel like it was. And they literally just did like launch control everywhere.
I know.
Exactly. Yeah, that's Mazin.
Come on, I've used launch control probably twice on my car. I'm very mechanically sympathetic on my cars, but I do use them.
So I remember coming up here, it was a while ago, and I'd just been told that or it may be a little bit after, I wasn't allocated a Gen 2 GT3, whatever. Anyway, on the fucking river. But I came up here and there was 2 outside, and I remember walking in and talking to someone and being like, oh, so you got 2 new GT3s, and they were like, oh yeah, it's Nabil and Mazin.
To get those cars, I think we could have just bought the car at Overs and been better off financially. I just put it that way.
Well, you guys have learned a lot of Porsches. You've had a lot of Cayennes and
unfortunately, you got to play the game, right? You got to play the game. You got to hemorrhage money on the
GTSs,
mundane stuff, dare I say, to get the special stuff.
The only one I haven't bought is a Panamera, which I was very close to buying, and then I decided not to because I hated the gearbox.
Yeah. Depending on which, are they all the same gearbox, or some of them?
Do you know what it was?
I think the turbo. I feel like the top one isn't the same.
No, it's a DSG, but is it right? No, PDK. Sorry, PDK.
Sorry,
PDK. Same thing. DSG, PDK, it's the same thing. Right? But I think what I didn't like is Mazin's wife had a Mclaren turbo, which had the PDK, which was phenomenal. It was amazing. The way it felt, it was really, really good. The response
was really good.
Yeah, it was really good. And I was expecting it to be like that in the Panamera.
What?
But it wasn't. But it's a PDK. I'm like, but there's 2 PDKs. Why the hell isn't it the same? And it wasn't.
I think they dialed it back. I don't know.
I mean, do you remember when we were on the A40 and I was doing a test drive?
It's like box.
Which one?
One of the Panameras, a lot of the Panameras are just an auto.
No, it's
I think it's the old ones.
No, I think it's the old ones. The new ones, I think.
The new ones are PDK.
I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure the new ones are all PDKs.
Because I drove one last year.
Yeah.
Went and did like a drive the range thing at Silverstone and drove a bunch of stuff. Yeah. And got in. Yeah, so drove a Mclaren, like a Mclaren S or something, and was very surprised.
Yeah, how good the
gearbox was. And it was massively inverted when I got in the Panamera, and it was like a Panamera S diesel or something. And immediately I was thinking, this should be a sportier car. And
exactly.
You're going around the corner, going around their little track. Obviously, it's not it's not something you're really meant to doing in those cars. But the Mclaren was great.
And
the Panamera that Panamera was awful because it just kept changing gears at the wrong times. It wouldn't react. It wouldn't do anything.
Yeah, and when you click it down, you wait 3 seconds before it goes down again.
4 hours, and then you run another corner by that.
Yeah. And that's exactly why I didn't buy a Panamera turbo, and I've got a Cayenne turbo instead. Which it has an auto box, which is fine.
8-speed, but the new 8-speed ZF
I expect. I'm like, okay, it's an auto box. It's a 4x4, but it's good. I think it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, the new box are good.
But I think because the Panamera is more of a sportier saloon type of thing, I was expecting it to be more sporty. You know what I mean?
More turbo, 911 turbo-esque than the other way.
Yeah.
I think the top one, the like Turbo SE, the silly one, is more is like that, but it's a good way of losing a lot of money in 6 months.
You can expect them to 170 grand.
Yeah, it's mental.
Yeah. Cool, I had one, but the older shape. Mazin had the convertible new one.
Which one?
The 900 turbo.
No, you're talking about the Panamera.
Panamera. I'm talking about Turbo S. Yeah, Panamera. You will. But some people love them, and they're like, I don't care.
So you both had GT3s. Did you both have manual or PDK?
No, PDK.
Both PDK.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've done 12,000 miles on my GT3.
Yeah,
so in a year.
Do you? I feel like you take it to the track every now and then.
Every weekend.
Every now and then, where the opportunity arises. I mean, the car's been every
night, every weekend, every morning.
The car's probably the fastest GT3 you'll find, Gen 2. It's well used. It's been running well, and it runs really strong. I mean, really strong. I mean, Ollie Webb was in the car with me not too long ago, and we were in Silverstone on the back straight on the hangar straight at the time. And there was another GT3 RS or GT3 next to us, and we slowly pipped past him.
Yeah.
It's a very strong engine on that car. I think it was a massive change between the Gen 1, and the RS 2 included, and the Gen 2. They really put a lot of R&D into that engine.
Do you know what I'm pissed off about?
Yeah.
Is that imagine the 12,000 miles in his car, and he's just selling it now. He's going to get a list back.
Yeah.
I did 3,000 miles, dazing around, not going on track, and I still got my list back.
So that is the thing.
I'm like I should have bloody used it. So
to answer the question, I've probably done about a good 8-9 track days.
Because you took your car to Manti.
I'm a big fan of their work. I'm a Porsche diehard, to be honest with you, and I love the guys there, and their work is just from a mechanical point of view. It's just amazing.
Mazin's got German blood, by the way. He must have German blood somewhere.
I'm all about efficiency engineering and so on, and the work those guys do is phenomenal. I mean, the transformation on the GT3 was night and day.
Really?
Even a simple geo.
What did you say? Did you just change the setup?
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing really scientific, but you can go the whole hog and get KW suspension and everything else. Yeah. But even on the standard suspension with Cup car parts, so Cup car top mounts, shims and stuff to get more camber in and so on. It drives, so his car was standard. Mine had all the upgrades on it, except for the KW, but it had all the upgrades.
The Geo upgrades,
The Geo, the brake lines.
Does that car have a fully adjustable suspension?
Yes, it does,
From factory,
I mean, it's not like a 4-way adjustable platform, but it's adjustable, ride height and everything else. And the car, the difference, even running as a daily with 3.5 degree camber on the car negative, it drove like it was on laser. Like it is literally so precise.
I think on the road, depending if you go from our industrial street, you go down the road. It would drag left, right, centre.
No, see, I disagree with that.
Well, no, because remember on the A46, just getting up to Hanger Lane, the car would be trying to follow the road because it's like. They're so aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, I was concerned about tramlining, for example.
That's what I mean. It was tramlining, was it?
No, but in all fairness, the standard car tramlined, ironically, more than the setup car, which you're mixing up with another car. You're mixing up with something else, because the GT3, even on those really sort of quite badly surfaced roads, was actually a lot. I mean, you can take your hands off the steering wheel and it was sailing straight.
You know what it is? It's my bloody Cayenne.
Yeah, you're getting confused.
It's a Cayenne.
It's aggressively track set up Cayenne.
Yeah, exactly.
It's my Cayenne. That was
the reason why I say that, because you think about it, it was your Cayenne, because the footprint of the tires is quite wide front and back.
Yeah.
So what happens is, because essentially when you got more camber in a car, it's negative. So as a result, the contact patch is less. So when you're on roads that have a lot of truck sort of, I don't know how to refer to them, but like the tarmac is recessed, crowned, and so on, you actually have less contact patch. So the car is actually quite precise. When the contact patch is bigger with wider front tires, I feel you tramline a lot more and you become a lot more floatier. So I really felt the car handled well on the road, and that's my honest opinion on that particular car.
Yeah, but I think again, I don't think you're a normal human. I think people, I think people don't. I mean, for me, I want to have that type of performance, and it's all subjective. Each person's different. Yeah. I don't want to have that kind of performance on a road because it will undoubtedly make a difference somewhere else, and it's the comfort in that aspect. Yeah. It wasn't that comfortable, the car.
But the Geo doesn't make any difference to the comfort. It just makes it more precise.
No, but what I mean is like we're talking obviously about having a GT type of car versus a you can make it look, you should make it handle better and be more precise and everything. But on the road, it's unless you're wired that way and you want to get the perfect performance and you want to feel the difference. I mean, when I got out my G3 and got hit G3, I could see a difference straight away. Yeah. And I could feel it instantly. I'd be like, oh my God, it was so much better.
It had lighter wheels, off-sprung wake, it had the Kraftwerk exhaust, it had a lot of bits done to it.
So I felt it straight away. But what I mean is that would I personally want to drive
down that route?
Go down that route? I wouldn't, because that's why I didn't on my car. But a lot of people would who would buy a GT3 because you're buying it to be a track car, essentially, aren't you?
Yeah. Are you very different in your approaches to cars you like?
We are,
How do you go? Obviously you're more track oriented.
Yeah, you can say that. I drive my cars, I mean, a lot more than he does in that sense. And I mean, I'm all about, that position that he's talking about. I'm all about that, even on the road. Even if I don't extract it, I know it's there and I can feel it. So I'm quite in tune with that side.
See, I notice it. I notice the stuff. So I'm in tune with it. Whether I would like it or not is another thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I think the more track driving I've done, and eventually, I've now got a Radical and a race car, and the more I drive that car,
that's the way to go.
It actually makes me go, what is the point in having a sports and a super aggressive car on the road? Because what are you gaining by increasing your ability to smash out laps? There is zero improvement, and it's probably worse on the road.
I mean, listen, the car you just bought now, the M5.
Yeah,
what a cracking car, right? Yeah. So it handles decently well.
Yeah,
right. And it's fast, like stupidly fast.
Very fast, yeah.
And you can drive it every day and enjoy it. But at the same time, I mean, I would go for a Cayenne as I did because I can tow my Radical to the track day with it.
As if you'd ever own a Radical and
not me, but someone else
ever would. As if you ever would.
I wouldn't fit in it. No, but someone else would. Someone else would. Look at Ash, for example. He's driving his Urus. He's trailing around.
Yeah, BSC1 on the back of Urus.
BSC1 on the back of Urus. That's what it's great because then you take off the trailer and you've got a highly performing.
I think as
vehicle
time goes by, I'm becoming more of that, like, get something comfy day to day. Yeah. Like, just comfy, doesn't have to be super sporty or whatever. And then just allocate your cars and be like, I've got one that goes to the track.
Yeah.
Like a GT3 or something or whatever that goes to the track and does the track stuff and then road trips and things. Yeah. And then one that's like this isolated bubble. It depends on what your morning drive is.
So let me ask you this: how's that working out for you, Sam? Considering your current collection of cars, I don't think it's working out particularly well.
No, it's not at all. My M2 is the comfortable daily driver, and it's too stiff, and not that. It's comfortable enough. It's not that comfy. But it's small, so it works in the London environment of being small. Yeah. And then every now and then I take it like a couple of times a year to the track and chuck it sideways and whatever.
Yeah. And you still have a GT3 RS 997, you still have a Ferrari 40, and you still have and so on and so forth.
Yes.
So yeah.
But so I haven't got to that point.
We'd like to get to that point.
But listen. What I was just about to say is that you can have a GT car, so you can have an 812 to do road trips in because it's relatively comfortable with a V12.
One parked outside.
Yeah, one parked outside. Exactly.
With rock hard seats. Yes, with rock hard seats.
Yeah, it has got rock, but it's comfortable. I can drive it.
Okay, why are those cars Like, why do they not have more comfy seats?
You can spec them, but
I mean, I guess you've got 800 whatever, like horsepower.
Yeah,
nothing's insane.
So you need
by
to
the
do
way.
the performance stuff.
Yeah,
but they're not super comfy.
No, they're not.
No.
I think they need to look aesthetically pleasing. That's why. I think they need to be slimline. They need to look nice. They need to fit part of the design of the car, and that's probably why.
Yeah, true. You couldn't just chuck an S-Class seat in there.
No, you can go. You can
that's
go.
what I mean. Imagine your M5 seat in the 812. It wouldn't look right, would it?
No, but hold on. You've got the regular comfortable seats in the 812 or any Ferrari that you can get, or you can go for the racing seats. Now the only difference is that you've got two extremes. So the comfort of the comfortable seats, they're actually quite comfortable.
I've never tried one.
They're very comfortable, but they don't.
They're like very comfortable in terms of like,
but you fall out of your seat. You will fall out of your seat. You take that, you will fall out. You will end up in the passenger's lap. So
it depends who your passenger is. You might like that.
I don't know.
They might end up in your lap.
Yeah, exactly. And the racing seats, I find, although they come in different sizes, they are inherently quite hard. Whilst say the Porsche ones, but the back reclines. Whilst in the Porsche 918 seats or whatever they call them, the super lightweight seats, they're quite soft. But they're very upright and very, very kind of restrictive on the shoulders.
I have to be a certain shape and size to fit them. But like the seats I have in my GT3 RS, the Gen 2 997, they're the lightweight carbon whatevs. Those are the most comfortable bucket seats I've ever sat in, and they're like a fabric rather than leather, and they've got padding in them.
But they're the older generation ones, which are basically, you can get similar ones in the, I think what's known as the sport seats. So Porsche have the
sport buckets.
But they're not the
sport
same.
buckets.
Sport buckets.
No, they're different, but they're also very comfortable, the sport buckets.
Yeah, they are quite comfy, and you can recline them and get access to the back.
You can get access to the back, but you can't recline them back.
You can put it down.
You can put it down, yeah.
They're
foldable.
You can fold. The only issue with those seats,
which are pointless in my opinion. I just don't think. I think if you're gonna go buckets, go buckets. That's what I think.
What you need is your passenger to have a foldable one.
There you go. You see,
driver have a fixed, because the fixed ones are lower.
They are, and they got an adjustment higher up. They got the height adjustment. Up and down, the electric height adjustment. But for me, I didn't get on with those seats. Getting in and out of them was an issue for me. Because, there's like on the side, there's like a big, like, I don't know, it's like a 100 mil drop when you get in them. And to get out, you have to like lift yourself up and then get out of the car. Don't say anything about my weight. And then
I kept quiet.
And then that's the issue of for me, that was the issue of those seats, and also that you can't recline. Like getting in the 812 for me is so much easier. I just get in it, and I just go.
But you have whiplash getting into it.
Why?
Because you fall in.
Oh, you just got it, because the car's so low. You're not used to low cars, Maz.
No, I'm used to 4x4s.
It's weird, like all the sort of things you pick up when you try different cars. Like getting in and out. Now, I think
they're first world problems.
It's a serious first world problem. But like some cars are a lot easier to get into than other cars.
Yeah.
And so, let's say if you're a larger person, that basically writes off some cars.
Yeah, it does. It does.
I got friends who are really big. They're like 6'7", 6'8". They're really tall people. They've got real restrictions of what they can and can't get into.
That's unfortunate, isn't it?
Yeah, like, they love cars, so you can imagine.
When they're at school, they're kicking everyone else playing rugby or whatever. And then now you're like, well, you can't get in that car. So
exactly. Exactly. You want to come with me in my car? I can't get in. I was like, yeah, well, that's your problem.
Back in your SUV.
Actually, surprisingly enough, the car that fits those bigger frame people is the 720. Mclaren. It's got quite a lot. It's quite nice in terms of, because of the glass roof and stuff. You got more headroom. Ergonomically, they're a fantastic proposition. Those McLarens, and performance-wise as well.
And you can get them good price now as well.
Yeah,
you can get them really good price.
Really
good price. Good
deal. We were talking about earlier, weren't we?
Good deals.
It's crazy.
Like, value for money. Like you just won just under 200 grand or whatever it was. Like,
it was 180.
I mean, cracking car for that much money. Honestly,
insane performance as well.
Yeah. It's a lot of money, but don't get me wrong. £180,000 is not cheap, but for what you're getting, I mean, that would literally whoop everything on track, apart from a GT2 RS. That's what I think. No, and obviously
there's a big battle, isn't it? Like which is faster? 720. I think. Well, we know the GT2 RS is faster on track.
Yeah.
But in most, I would say, real world scenarios, 720 is gonna whip it. Like
Mazin's
You're
switching.
like, nah.
Mazin is switching.
Straight line. 720 is faster.
Mazin's switching.
720 is faster above 150 because of the aero that the GTRS has.
But not to like a quarter mile drag.
They're very close. They're very close.
I mean, they must be very close.
They're very, very close. I mean, to be honest, we in sort of April we're gonna have we're gonna organise a little battle. Yeah. So
sure.
So but a proper battle. So what we're gonna do is hopefully I'm gonna send with man-thigh and stuff. And my GT2's been man-thighed already, but not the full MR conversion.
Well, yeah, this was a question I was going to ask you since they've obviously
at 95,000 euros, which is like the price of a radical on top. You know, like and some. It's a lot of money, and I was at the Essen show because I was having a chat with the guys. Well, we don't need to go the whole 95. You can go, 70,
you don't need
77,000
you don't need the wheels.
It's still an obscene amount of money, but
you just want the set. I mean, the setup is.
And you want that wing. That's what you want.
You want that spoiler. No, it's not that. It's not that.
For me, I just want the spoiler and the louvers at the front, and that's all I want.
No,
I don't care what's inside.
So I'm just saying, the car itself. So my car went to man-thigh to get the Cup 2R tires, the brake upgrade, and the Geo. Yeah, with the standard suspension and the aero improvements with the standard setup. The only thing is that makes a big difference. The GT2 RS in standard form wasn't great to drive. I'll be honest with you. It was quite challenging to drive, especially drive fast. With the setup, it's night and day different. And with the MR conversion, as I've heard, I mean, Chris Harris was testing it recently, and I just find that with the lap time they've set, Lance Kern said that he did it in one lap on the Nürburgring, on the Nordschleife, and it was so easy to drive. And that's what allows you to exploit that performance.
When you watch that video, and you go, I was talking to someone about this recently, it's the difference between like a really fast lap time and a really, really, really fast lap time. One can look crazy from a viewer point of view. Intensity is like the cars are sideways, there's a lot of lock, and like they're managing that all. But then there's one notch above that which is like everything looks silky. When you watch that lap, it's just smooth, and it looks like the car is really. It looks in a comfortable place to drive.
It's in a comfortable place.
And that's when you can drive really fast.
Correct. So what I'm looking forward to the most is the GT2 has always been, and I've had a couple of generations. The GT2 has always been a handful of a car to drive. With the 991, with the new platform, they've really improved on that. And I think with the MR conversion, I'm looking forward to hopefully getting it so that it's really easy to drive, where it doesn't really threaten you that much. And that there's a lot of technology that's gone into it. I mean, it's a lot of money to spend, but the aero has all been tested at the Porsche wind tunnel. Everything is going to...
the right people have done it.
Man-thigh Porsche, aren't they, basically?
Yeah, the 51% by Porsche. And, we're not... I haven't got shares in Man-thigh, but I'm trying to say is that I'm passionate about things that are engineered and that do what they say they're going to do. And I'm looking forward to it. But, 77,000 euros is a big pill to swallow. But I think...
Hold on, you say that. I don't think it is. I want to be controversial here. I don't think it is.
In what sense?
In the sense that you've got these super duper hypercars. You'll spend £50,000 on a paint job. On a paint job.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I get it. I mean,
you're getting a lot more than just
and it's Porsche approved,
slightly
so it's
different
warranted.
paint.
So it's warranted.
I'm just saying, I know for us, it's a lot of money, right? Don't get me wrong. But what I mean is when you put it in perspective of the higher value
the Weissach pack was 26, 27 grand. The Weissach pack on the car.
And then that got you wheels and
a few carbon fibre bits.
And
I'm just saying.
That is the current record holder around the Nürburgring.
We all want that, don't we?
Exactly.
So what I plan to do is I'm going to get Ollie Webb to drive a Senna around Silverstone, time lap, my GT2 RS once it's been man-thighed fully with the full MR kit. And I'm trying...
With the stickers.
I'm trying to get... No, without the stickers, thank you very much. And I'm going to get the... I'm trying to get a P1 GTR LM.
Yeah.
To go around. So basically... And maybe something else.
Do you think Silverstone, it's a good track for doing it from a car owner point of view? Because it's like, reasonable amount of runoff, like not too bad.
Yeah.
But But do you think that will lend itself to more to one car than the other?
Well, it's got a good mix, I think. It's a very technical track. Silverstone is technical.
Yeah.
It's a power track.
Yeah, it's got straights.
Because you'll need power.
But you've got to be able to carry that speed.
Yeah.
Correct.
So aero-heavy cars will probably be working a bit better on that.
Correct.
On that
So aero-heavy cars will work quite well. If you say you took it to a track, I don't know, for example, it's just short and loads of corners and stuff, you wouldn't be the more aero, like the Senna and the P1G, all these cars won't necessarily benefit from. They'll be at a disadvantage. But I think Silverstone is quite a good playing field in terms of a lot of aero does play a big part.
Yeah, and those three cars you mentioned all have aero.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. Obviously the Senna.
And they're people have said this car has a lot of aero.
Yeah.
Whether that is an actual figure that you consider a lot of aero.
Of course. It's very, very, very interesting. But no, it's so we're gonna have a shootout with those three and see and see what happens. I think it's gonna be quite interesting.
Well, let me know when you're doing it.
100%. Well, I have to save up the money to get their market version first. 77,000 quid. It's it needs a bit of saving, but I genuinely think it'll be quite cool.
PPFing all cars all day long.
Exactly. Exactly.
So it's quite cool, but it's going to be quite interesting. Yeah, I mean, for me,
I'd be very intrigued to see what the result is of that. And also how setting that lap time looks. And as what does Ollie say about driving all three cars in terms of which is the most fun? What felt easy? What felt like you were really ringing it and
exactly.
It's gonna be cool.
Because at the end of the day,
thing to do.
a fast lap time is, unless you're racing, is completely irrelevant. You go to a track day and you've set the fastest lap time. That just means what car turned up.
Exactly.
It's whether you had fun and whether it was a fun car to drive.
And that's why I like Ferraris. Going back to it, and we were talking about this yesterday. We were in the 812 yesterday, and we were driving, and I put it in race because I drive in a race. So you drive it anywhere on sport or anything else, it's just pointless. And you put it in a race, and then
someone who's said you're not into hardcore. It's CT off.
No, I haven't got to that stage. That's safe for the track only. Which I'm never going to take on track. So
21st, you're doing Donington Drift Day, mate. I don't know what you're on.
That's not a track day. That's like a car park.
Yeah, but that's got to be done.
Yeah,
that's got to be some point in time. In any car
you have to drift,
do some donuts, do some drifting.
You have to. Well, come on, you got the V12, 800 bloody odd horsepower, rear-wheel drive. You got to drift.
Should be able to do a burnout.
Exactly. But I don't know. I think I forgot what I was going to say now. I was on the way of
the
field. So it's we're driving yesterday, and then I was downshifting it. And I was like, and I was like, Forza Ferrari. It's like that's what it's all about. It's like, oh yeah, I'm in a Ferrari. You know, it's like that gives you a different. It feels so good.
It is a different experience. It's a completely different experience.
I know I'm not going to be the fastest thing on track. On the road, it can barely hold it. It's because I'm I accelerate a little bit and it starts going sideways and it wants to kill you. So I know it's not going to be the fastest thing in the world. But whilst you're doing that, even if them 5 will probably go past you, right? But you're having such a blast doing it. Yeah. And this is why for me, trying to get the fastest track time, which is opposite to what you are, Maz, is pointless for me. I'm I would rather have a car that makes me feel good than knowing that it's the fastest in numbers or in numbers perspective. You know what I mean?
It's there's something when I first drove a Speciale, and the first time I drove one was on track, and the kind owner let me go out and have a level of black, and we were in Bahrain, and I came back in being like, oh, this is different. This is different to the Porsche way of doing stuff. Porsche is you go, you can slide them around and stuff, but they don't make it easy. Whereas Speciale, the steering, everything about the steering is it's rapid. So you just and you caught it, and then they're designed to almost not have grip. And you just breathe on the throttle, and you're like, and you come back in just having gone sideways everywhere without feeling like you were going to crash the car. And oh, this is mega. And this is very different.
I mean, you try drift a 911 or a GT3 or something. You're on the edge of if you overstep it by this much, you spun.
But then that all of these things give back different reward levels, don't they?
They do.
I do think on a road, I've seen people. Let's just take an average supercar owner level of ability, like whatever that is.
Yeah.
I think you probably have more fun or feel like you're getting more out of a Speciale or something like that than you would in a GT3 or GT3 RS, because the GT3 GT3 RS most of the time it's just going to grip and go, and to get it to slide or something like that, you've got to be like on it and know what you know what you're letting yourself in for.
Of course. I mean, for me personally speaking,
not that you would ever do this on a public road.
Never.
No.
Yeah, unless it's private road, and then it's no. But I mean, you for me, private. Like, the car that I enjoyed the most on track and off of track was that 675 LT Spider. For me, that was amazing.
Yeah,
amazing because it gave you the feeling of, your perfect driving position. It drove amazingly on the road. It was supple. It was nice. It was smooth. It wasn't too choppy. And then when you got to the track, it's so playful. When it did go sideways, you'd be able to catch it and play with it, and it's quick. So for me, that car was a real. They've done real good car.
Very
really
good
car.
with those cars. Like just doing the carbon tub and then their suspension. Just that ability, like we talked about. Like when you're on the track, you want something that's precise and controllable, but can go fast. And then when you're on the road, you want to be able to sort of unhinge all that stuff and have something that's more comfortable when you want it. And McLaren have done that well. Interesting to see what whatever the next 675 LT is going to be, like
775
LT or whatever.
Cool.
When then you're like, how's that going to butt up against with the Senna and all this sort of stuff? But
there's going to be loads of controversy, I'm sure, with that. It's because I'm sure it's going to be really close to the Senna. I'm sure it'll be, if not faster.
It will be.
You never know. It won't be faster. No, they can't make it faster. But I think it'll be really
probably
close.
be faster in a straight line.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
because it won't have as much air.
Yeah, it's true.
It won't have the massive wing.
Yeah. And you see, that's the issue going back to the GT2 RS. People don't realize how much drag that car actually has in a straight line.
Yeah.
I mean, drag coefficient is quite high for it.
Do you know what we should do? We should do on the drift box, do it from zero.
Spoiler off.
With spoiler on and spoiler off.
Yeah.
I heard of someone doing this recently. I can't remember what car it was. It was something like a GT3 RS or GT2 RS or whatever. And everyone had said, like, you take the wing off, it's going to make a massive difference. And they did a quarter mile or something, and it was like 4 miles an hour different.
We need to do that.
Yeah.
We need to do that.
Quarter mile, you're not going to get more than 110, 115, 120 miles an hour, 100, that sort of thing. It's where it makes difference in the longer stint.
A mile,
a
mile run.
But you're not really doing
in a race car. This is what I've been told is that on a race car, on an M3, for example, with a massive wing, in Silverstone, if the wing is set in the aggressive position, it makes 12, 13 mile an hour difference at the end of the straight.
Yes.
So it's quite a substantial difference. If you think about it. And the car isn't just about the spoiler. It's everything else, all the air that goes in with the car. The front splitter, have you noticed on the front splitter on the GT2, it's quite big. It's bigger than a lot of road cars. And it's even got metal supports that connect to the actual frame.
To hold it.
To hold it, because the amount of pressure it's going to be under that sort of speed. Yeah. So it's a lot of downforce.
Aero works, right?
It does.
They spend so much money on R&D for aero.
And that's something with cars that we're getting now, is you're starting to get downforce without drag.
Yeah.
Which is the best of both worlds. Something like the Valkyrie.
That's going to be amazing.
Did you see that video? It came out a couple of days ago of the engine.
No. I saw. No,
I saw the engine
on a mount at Cosworth, and they just crank it.
No way.
And you hear it. But it
1,000 horsepower at like whatever
V12,
11,000 RPM.
I've heard the Project One.
The Valkyrie engine is a masterpiece.
What, more so than the Project One?
Yeah, V12.
Yeah,
but Project One is
Project One engine.
Is a proper Formula One car.
Yeah,
Formula
like
One engine,
isn't it?
Yeah, but
is it a 4-pot? But was it 10 litre or something? What is it? Like, it was
crazy. But it's a new generation of.
No, but it sounds
amazing.
Sounds amazing though.
Yeah.
No.
Not the same.
Really?
No, so, no.
That current F1 car doesn't sound that good.
No, it doesn't.
When you compare it to
the old
and that's
ones,
why I to myself come off Formula One. It sounds crazy. I'm not interested. The drama, the patch, it's all gone. The noise.
Crazy,
I remember when they used to go past. Like it was like, oh, what the hell's that?
You know, like when you have those jet fighters, when they go past, you're like, oh, you're like,
that's just gone. I remember I was in Monaco one of the last years that they ran the V8s, and just like it's like this insane noise just bouncing everywhere. But do you watch some of the WEC?
No.
Yeah,
I don't. No.
That's just a mental series, isn't it? That's like the amount of driver talent and skill you need to exercise on a course like that.
I agree.
It's just mental.
And I think it's more related for me. It's way more relatable to like cars you see all the time.
And there's less politics.
And you get stuff like you've got a GT2 RS or you had a GT3 RS or something, and you look at an RSR and you're like, that's like the evolution of my car.
Yeah.
Whereas you look at an F1 car, it's like a single seater. Like how many people have even driven a single seater? Anything other than like a go kart.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. It's true. So you can relate to it a bit more, can't you?
And when there's this new class coming in, which is going to be all the kind of hypercars that you see all day.
Yeah.
Whether they're exactly the same, but like, there will be a Ferrari.
Yeah.
There will be the Aston Martin, and we'll see a Valkyrie or whatever flying. I can't wait to see a Valkyrie on the street of all of them.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's gonna look really weird.
It's gonna look mental.
It's almost like it's just a.
I recently saw a picture actually of the back of one.
With the
crazy.
Well, speaking of PPF, a lot of our clients getting them said to us, Maz, you're gonna have to flip the car upside down. I said, what do you mean? They said you have to PPF the bottom of the car a lot more than the top of the car. Mm-hmm. Because the amount of carbon and stuff that's under the car.
That's true.
So much carbon.
So what do you plan on doing on the underside? I said, well, let's just get one in and then figure it out.
Yeah, you probably have to get up on the lift.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to do that because underneath is I didn't get that picture up.
Yeah, but no, it's exciting times, and I think we're very lucky in our generation, our era. There's a lot of cool, amazing cars, and I think that's just starting to die off as a trend. That's why people ask about GT RS. I'll never sell that car if I can financially afford it. I always hold on to it because I think it's a last of a non-hybrid version. I mean, the next one's going to come out in 5 years, for example, and that will definitely be hybrid.
But the hybrid one could be awesome if it's light enough. My only thing is if it's light enough.
But it's not as organic as what it is now, with just 2 turbochargers bolted onto it, and that's it.
Yeah, but turbocharging is a way of getting extra power.
Yeah,
and it changes the dynamics of an engine.
Yeah,
whereas and a hybrid, I think, is a similar sort of thing. Like,
the technology is just not quite there yet.
I agree, the tech is not there. Yeah, but I do see a point in time when we have a naturally aspirated, like flat 6 that revs to like 12 or something that might be electronically.
That's the one.
It's amazing, right?
It just looks crazy,
insane.
But then you'll be able to have that torque fill. You'll be able to any like troughs or whatever in the power delivery. You'll be able to fill with electric,
as long as
you get
light
power.
Enough. Yeah,
power.
light enough.
Yes, that's the thing. Is it going to be light enough
and reliable?
I just want like a 1-ton car. 1-ton car, 500 horsepower.
That's it. That's what you need.
Yeah,
that's it.
But now manufacturers are going crazy with like the horsepowers. Like I mean, back in the day, honestly, if you ever thought you'd be in a 700 horsepower car, you'd be like, you can't imagine what that's like.
No, you just get your daily saloon.
I mean, that's the thing. Look at the Urus. Urus, what's that now? 650?
650 something like that.
On a 4x4.
Yeah, and the Hellcat and the Demon and all that sort of stuff. They're like 780 or something hilarious. I mean, they can't put the power down.
So these M5s, I was watching a YouTube video yesterday, E63 versus M5, a normal M5, and the M5 is in Russia, and they were all tested that the standard M5 was producing, I think, 685 horsepower. Standard M5.
Bloody hell.
Standard. And 850 Newton meters of torque. Standard car.
Unbelievable.
So it's a standard car. But
those cars are waiting to get chipped. Like
yeah.
They're waiting to get DMS.
I drove the new M5, and it's a really good car.
Yeah.
But for like 4-wheel drive,
or two-wheel drive, you can change it.
You can, I had it for a little, whatever. I had Tim's for a bit, and then I I had one from BMW the other day, and both times, turn everything off, put it in 2-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Stationary, mash it.
Yeah.
It just goes.
Oh, what?
It just grips.
Doesn't
just
really?
just light up.
Have you tried that?
Mate, I've done 150
Oh yeah, of
miles.
course. Yeah. Well,
So obviously not yet.
No, not yet. No.
But
you're not like me.
and I think it's traction control that you can't turn off. It's because there's no way that amount of power going through those tires.
Did it really? So it didn't burn up.
Didn't burn up. Like a little bit. Like not just
no
like.
way. I mean, listen. The 8.
I had the old F10. I've had all the M5s. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had all the M5s. Was it the F10 the last one? I think it was the F10 M5. The 2015 car, whatever.
Yeah, not the V10, the one.
The same engine as this, but the older one, the 4.4 V8.
Yeah.
That car, you mash the throttle and you're spinning on the spot. Maybe because it had a PDK or whatever called. What the BM? Not DCT. I can't remember what they call it. No, BMW is a different name. Anyway, yeah. So
MSG.
That goes in food.
What's that E46? My E46 gearbox.
SMG.
SMG. That's not MSG.
But it's
I'm thinking
is it
of
SMG?
bad
No, it's not
Chinese
SMG
food.
No, it was SMG. Anyway,
it's DCT.
Yeah, so
DCT.
you put your foot down,
It is DCT.
and because it dumps the clutch, I think that's what makes it. But you know what? I'm going to try that, and I'm going to call you once I've tried it.
Yeah.
Because I can't see how that car can just go rather than a full on burn out 3 gears.
In the M2, if you just mash it, it goes until it hits a certain amount of power, and then it starts to do it, but it doesn't. If you tap the brake, then mash the throttle, like boom, boom. It knows what you're trying to do. It stalls, slips the clutch, like lets it rev, and then dumps it, and then you can do a burnout. But this car did not do it.
It's interesting.
Well, we're going to the drift day.
Yeah, we'll try it. Yeah. But with the 812, I mean, you're trying to not do it. That's it.
The whole car's like
the whole thing. I mean, you give it more than half throttle, and the thing is going. It's trying to like break traction.
Going on back to the topic. But what amazes me is how well the 2RS puts the power down, even in first gear. How it just catapults and puts the power down.
Well, that's what Porsche do, though, don't they?
Porsche do that.
They do that
unbelievably well.
It's because the weight is at the back.
Yeah,
and the width of the tires,
the tires and the weight. I mean, that's what it is. The weight is it's like having other. How heavy is the bloody engine? Probably about 300 kilos at least. I'd say 400
something
kilos.
Like that.
Something like that. Imagine having 400 kilos with those tires.
Yeah, not
on that weight.
1 in 6 degrees.
But they do. Like, it's just.
Yeah.
That's something about Porsches. They just grip, and like when I took my old 911, we went to Sweden and drove on the snow, which you guys should 100% do. Like just take a car with rear wheel drive.
I can't wait to do that.
On studs or whatever. Yeah. And that we were driving against modern. So I just had normal winter tires.
Yeah.
And a lot of other people had studs, and there was a guy. Talal had his AMG. Was it? Was it an SLS? Was it AMG GT? It had the GT3 body kit thing on it. Yeah. And like I had more grip than that. Like not all the time, but like we're bombing along in this old car on winters. Yeah, and they had loads of the modern cars had studs and stuff. When you're just
and you still go past them.
Straight past.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
It's crazy.
A lot of fun.
It's crazy.
We need to do that, Mas.
Yeah, we have
That's the most fun I've had in a car.
Really,
hands down. Don't even have to go on an ice track. Just like driving down the roads, because then you feel like you're on a rally stage. I mean, you are on a rally stage. Yeah. And it's all at like 20 miles an hour. Yeah, every junction, like you come out of it sideways, and then you mess it up, and you just spin around and whatever, and you carry on. But like, it's all the fun stuff you want to do without destroying tires. And at a speed that is sensible.
Yeah,
you're not going to kill yourself.
And you're not going, and it's snow, so it's kind of soft. I mean, until people find out on ice tracks when. They like I think there was Lamborghini launched the Aventador S at an ice track, and they like wrote off like 4 or 5 of them in the first day or something, or they needed extensive repairs.
Yeah, well, it was because the standing snow on the side is really hard. Yeah. It's really hard.
And
so
actually,
a
lot of the time it's solid. Even when it's soft, like you were talking about with the splitter on your GT2 RS, like it sticks out so far and it's angled for downforce basically. This year we're in an R8, and all the Porsches that went into the snow, like eventually someone's going to go into the snow. Because of that splitter going into the snow, it forces the the front bumper down and it splits the bumper.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Whereas the R8 has a flat front with almost like an up at the bottom.
Yeah.
And that went in the snow and just was completely fine.
Yeah.
Like the car just went up. I didn't put it in the snow.
No.
But someone else did. Very fast. But yeah, it was fun. I think I've got a couple of things that are sort of news-related items to discuss.
Yeah.
And you'll probably see some of these super soon. One of them was the Valkyrie Engine.
Yeah, I need to see that.
Just
I
cool.
need to see that.
Go watch that video.
I'm gonna watch it.
Classic.
It
needs. We need to hear, because it's on a dyno. You don't quite get all the stuff that you would get if it was going up a mountain road and all that. So the proper gear changes and things like that.
Yeah.
But so we've seen the 720S Spider was revealed last week.
Yeah. I'm not a fan.
Not a fan?
No,
not
I'm
fan
not
of
a
the
fan.
car full stop or
I'm
the Spider?
not a fan of the Spider. I'm not a fan of the Spider. I think the coupe looks better. I don't know. I think something at the back I just don't like. There's something there that I'm like a bit like.
I've only vaguely looked at the pictures and part of me goes like that will be a really awesome car to like drive around, do whatever. Like there's something about having a Spider that doesn't lose any of the performance.
But it will lose somewhere else, and that's the concern with that car.
Yeah.
But will it though because of the carbon tub?
I'm talking financially.
Oh, I thought you meant like performance-wise.
Who's all about it? Bullshit value.
No, I know. But you know
but
what?
ignoring that side
great car.
But you buy, listen, if you're buying one of those cars, you're not going to be. I mean, you should.
You know what you're getting in for.
But you know you're getting in for. I mean, it's like you buying a Rolls Royce. You buy a Rolls Royce, you know you're going to shed a lot of money if you're buying a new Phantom or a new Ghost.
But let me tell you something else. I think those McLarens, in the best form that they're in, is in a Spider. So I'd agree with you. I actually think the car's awesome because it's in Spider form. Because of the tub, you lose no rigidity.
Exactly.
And it's and open top motoring.
If you want to have a Spider, it's a McLaren. That's the one that you would.
You would never, I would never buy a
Ferrari Spider.
Or something. Other than like, I'm sure it's nice. I just worry that it's just it's not going to be as good as the coupe.
No,
and that's
you
can't level that at a McLaren.
But you're talking about performance-wise. But I would rather be in a Performante Spider than a coupe because I know that engine with the roof down.
Well, as an experience,
phenomenal.
Roof down is great.
Yeah. So you guys are more performance.
No. Just from if you're going. If you're going down that line, if you're going to get a 720S, there's nothing that would stop me getting the Spider.
No, there'd be nothing stopping me.
There's absolutely nothing that would stop me getting the Spider.
Because of the tub.
Yeah.
Because of the tub.
But then if I said to you, you're going to get a 911 Turbo S, I know you went for a convertible, but that was by mistake.
No, by mistake. No, I didn't have a choice because I wanted a new one.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
They couldn't get me a coupe.
That's what I'm saying. It was by mistake.
And they had one cancelled.
Nice bit of upselling.
You wouldn't have chosen. You wouldn't have chosen
no chance.
A road, whatever it's called.
But I think the decision to have the roof down is a much bigger decision than whether you've lost a bit of performance because it's not on track.
Yeah.
And I think historically, lots of cars got super wishy-washy when you took the roof off.
Like the 488 we had. It was, I personally think, in Spider form, it was just not great, to be honest. You lost a lot of rigidity in the chassis, and you even felt the scuttle shake through the steering.
It's
noticeable. Yeah, it's very noticeable.
By someone that's not like testing that car.
It was noticeable. Yeah, it was noticeable.
He even noticed it.
Yeah, I noticed it. Yeah, and what do you mean he even? He even. Like I'm a degenerate. He even noticed it. No, but I mean, I mean, we didn't get on with that car, did we?
No,
the 488 Spider.
No.
Oh well.
And ironically, in the Pista, values aside, if you were to offer me a 488. Or Pista Coupe or Pista Spider.
Get it right, Pista.
Yeah. Spider or Coupe, I'd go Coupe every single time because then the car has half a chance of being good.
Yeah. half a chance of being good on track, you mean? Yeah. But for me, I would go for the convertible, knowing that I will get scuttle shake and knowing that I would be. But I would
most of the time you're driving that car, you have the opportunity to have the roof down, hear the noise and all that.
If I'm out of London, because I don't want to get my watch nicked.
Yeah. And driving around London with a roof down
is really bad move.
It's
a bad
not
move.
great. Just as an experience. I had a caterer the other day. Caterer let me a 310.
I saw your video where you're drifting around. Yeah, that's cool. That's
so
good.
much fun. Like just the complete opposite end of the spectrum to like all these cars.
Yeah.
But just an absolute laugh. But I drove that around London, and it's a tiny car. Luckily, I think having the doors on helped. Yeah. But if you didn't have the doors on and you stop and a pedestrian is standing next to you, I mean, they're in your car. Just by the very nature, you are so close to them.
They might as well get in.
They might as well just be sitting in your car. That's how close
it's quite intimidating in London, to be honest. I've never been a fan of putting the roof down in London. I feel everyone's on top of you, the pollution, everything that's going on. It's just a horrible place to put a roof down.
In the summer, it can be nice.
Yeah, if you're in that mood.
But you want, I think, it's that thing of, part of the reason I'm driving around London is I don't want to be, like, I'm not walking, or I've chosen not to be outside amongst all the people for whether it's convenience or whatever. Yeah. And being isolated is nice. Now, some people drive around with the roof down as like a show-off type thing.
Yeah.
Like, look at me driving around with the roof down. It is nice having the roof down in the sun. But when there's people around everywhere, it's horrible, isn't it?
Yeah. It depends if you're inclined that way. I mean,
exactly. It depends what you want.
So some people would don't feel that they like the fact that, you know, our friend Haider, he loves driving around with the roof down. Yeah. Just because he likes the fresh air, he likes that. Not because he's showing off, because he just likes being outdoors whilst being inside.
It is a different thing, isn't it?
And so do I, but because of the fear of all these scooters and stuff like that, I wouldn't nowadays. But back in the day, I would if I had a convertible, I would be driving it in town with the roof down, because I want to enjoy seeing the buildings and stuff like that, and feel like I'm on the road actually walking, but in a car.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So it's a different thing. So I think it's a different experience.
One of my favourite drives. One was that other day in a wet, cold, raining morning in a Caterham on like a single lane private road. Yeah. Was just mega, and being partly out and amongst it and kind of getting wet at the same time added to that environment. Another one was when I had a Boxster. I'd gone to visit a friend. I was up in Norfolk, I think. I'd gone to meet a friend at a pub just to have some dinner, and then I drove home at night time, roof down a bunch of country roads. Yeah. And there's something about driving with the roof down at night.
Yeah, it's cool.
But outside London, it's amazing.
And it was really
London,
especially when it's hot and sunny.
And all the noise resonating off the trees and all the stuff. Oh, it's amazing.
It was so good.
Yeah, it's amazing. So I mean, when I had my GTS, my 2S, my Carrera 2S, what is it?
2 GTS.
2 GTS. When I'd be going down outside London, I'd put the sunroof, open it up, windows down, just because I want to hear it.
Yeah,
I want to experience it.
But have you noticed? But slight flaw on the plan there. In 991 as a platform, if you go anything above 80, 90, 100 miles an hour, you get a lot of turbulence in the cabin.
With windows or
windows down. So you can't have your windows down. I'm saying in a coupe. You get a lot of turbulence coming in when you put the two windows down.
It's not the same in like any car.
Not necessarily. It's particularly bad with the 991 platform. The way the air comes in, and if you noticed, there's a company that created a little triangle. You know where the triangle is in front and next to the window? It has a little deflector.
Oh, right.
It's about that big. And that stops the wind coming into the cabin and causing that sort of noise.
That's baffling.
The baffling was so bad.
Is it
at 110? Like you thought your head was about to blow up.
That for high speed.
That's something. Because I thought, okay, like when would you reasonably do that? But on track, you're not really meant to have your windows down at all. But I have, sometimes have them cracked.
That's right. Yeah, because it gets hot.
And hot, and you want to hear a bit more and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. But the faster you go, that it can get annoying.
Yeah, I mean, you're doing 150, 160 with the window. It's quite intrusive in the cabin. But yeah,
we had a client that had that drove a Bugatti Super Sport, was it? Where the roof collapsed.
Yeah, yeah.
The roof collapsed.
Yeah, the roof, like, it didn't collapse, but it just...
The fabric roof, you're not supposed to go over a certain speed.
Go 120.
Yeah, he just went for it.
So easy in that.
Yeah, he just went for it. And then when we got the car back, I'm like, what happened to the roof? He's like, I don't know, just went.
That's funny with like old school Bernetta type, or even up to like the 550
Super America.
Yeah. So you had to be
575 Super America.
575,
you couldn't,
The 550
couldn't go over like 100.
Yeah.
Before the whole bit of fabric just like ripped off.
Yeah.
Honestly. I've got a question for you guys. What do you think of that Tesla? I know it's old news, but Tesla, that Roadster thing.
I think it's cool. Once you mentioned the word Tesla, I've switched off already. So
come
I
on. You can't be that way.
They're interesting cars, and they.
Yeah.
Have you been in an S?
He had an S.
Yeah, and that was the only car that made you literally giggle like a little girl. That was the only car. I've never heard.
I wasn't expecting the talk to come in so early.
I got him really bad.
Hilarious.
I got him really bad.
I see a world where, I mean, it's going to happen obviously, but where we're driving electric cars like day to day, and you might have a petrol car for fun. Yeah. But driving an electric, I've only spent a tiny amount of time in a Tesla, like an S or something, and just driving around, it was the most calming, serene experience.
Yeah.
There's no noise.
Chilled.
Just chilled.
Yeah.
Like,
no
and I can
noise
see
at all.
in town how that being
really
nice. Like, and actually, if you've got a Rolls Royce or something, them swapping to an electric powertrain doesn't detract from the experience.
Yeah, it's
there's nothing.
The quietness and the comfort, which is really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I absolutely love it. And the reason why I brought this up is because talking performance, 0 to 60, 1.9 seconds. 250 miles per hour plus.
On paper.
On the what?
Paper.
Well, yeah, I mean...
It doesn't exist yet.
I mean, I know, but if they're writing it down, I mean, come on, they can't be. Listen to that. 0 to 60, 1.9. 0 to 100, 4.2.
Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous.
Quarter mile, 8.8.
Yeah,
I mean, that's like Hayabusa with like NOS and like bigger crack.
Yeah.
But there's something like Rimac.
Yeah.
They're doing it now.
Yeah.
And their cars, like the
is that the one that got crashed? Richard
Grand Tour or whatever.
Yeah.
But now they're on the second car.
Yeah.
And they're you just think crazy fast.
Yeah.
But
I don't know the levels. I mean, look, 10,000 newton meters of torque. Like, what's that gonna feel like?
And at that point, it then comes down to calibration becomes super important because you can pick the engine profile you want.
Yeah.
You're like, how do I want it to drive?
Yeah.
Like, which wheels do I want to send all the power to? Like, I'll just make it rear-wheel drive now. Boom, done.
It's a future. Honestly, it's amazing. I can't wait. I think.
Where's the noise?
Yeah, there's no noise.
Well,
you have to just make the noise when you're driving it.
So the irony is that all these cars are getting faster, more technologically advanced, and the speed limits are staying exactly the same as they were in the 50s.
Yeah, I know.
It's just the dumbest thing.
Yeah, I would way rather manufacturers started making their cars significantly lighter.
Yeah.
Like taking chunks out of weight, because
70
drive something like that
mile an
Caterham was like 500 kilos. I mean, it felt like it was 500 kilos, as in if someone came around the corner and hit you, you were in a bad way.
Yeah.
But it's why some of the sort of like the retro stuff that we're seeing now, where people are taking older stuff and beefing it up to modern, like singers, things like that.
But the only issue with that is that the people are, cars getting more expensive. People are expecting more of the car because they're getting more expensive. Interiors need to look nicer. And I think if you start taking weight away from the cars, something's going to have to give.
Okay, take an example of a Singer as an example.
Yeah.
The interior is really nice.
Yeah.
But it's not very heavy.
No, it's not. Yeah.
No.
So you can do fast,
you might be able to do something
classy.
with it. Yeah. But it just doesn't have electric
seats. You can't have all the
seats.
screens and all the...
And you don't get a massaging chair either.
Exactly.
Yeah. Which we love. Massaging, heated, cooled seats. What else you can get? What else you got on the M5?
Mate, it's got everything.
Huh?
It's got bolster control on the side, on the top, the back reclines.
Does it make a meal for you as well if you're hungry?
It's just ridiculous the amount of tech that car has.
Yeah.
I've just looked at my watch and I'm slightly conscious that I have to be somewhere else in not a ton of time.
Yes.
But,
what time is it?
It's 2 o'clock.
Oh my God, no wonder why I'm bloody hungry.
Yeah,
it's food time.
Yeah.
So I normally end these podcasts by asking 5 questions, so you're gonna get them each.
Yeah.
Do you have a most memorable driving trip or journey that you've done that stands out?
Yeah.
Either of you can go
Well,
first.
both of us, I think that was the GT3s.
Yeah, when we took the GT3s, it was a really nice trip. We took we got both the GT3s new. We just took delivery, and in order to run them in, we thought it was a wise idea to drive them to Manthai to get the upgrades on mine and drive Germany. The roads around Nürburgring, I'm sure you've been there, are amazing. And it gave us a good chance to really kind of do some amazing roads on that trip, amazing pictures. And that's what it's about, right? If you're a petrolhead, that's what you enjoy.
Yeah.
New car, great engine, getting upgrades, going to Germany.
Doing it together.
You know, you're doing it together, opening up the cars. It's just great fun.
And that was the second day after we picked up the cars, wasn't it?
Yeah. So it was great.
Getting running out of the way.
Just all
get it all
boring
sorted.
stuff.
Yeah, that was probably one of the, that was the best trip, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Well, definitely the one of, there's other ones, but yeah, that was one that stands out.
Good time.
Yeah, definitely.
5-car garage. Unlimited value. The only caveat is it has to fit into your current lifestyle. So you have to use these cars how you...
Okay. Shit. I've never been asked that question before, but
I can answer that very easily.
Go for it.
You can do what you want.
Pagani, Riviera. For me, I love that car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that
The Zonda.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
760, you mean?
760.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's one. You got to have that in there.
Yeah.
I would have a Chiron as well.
Okay.
So I'd have, if the Zonda would be the flashy one that I'd want to only drive sometimes here and there.
Yeah.
The Chiron would be the one that I'd drive on GTs.
Yeah.
I'd have to have a convertible of some sort.
Yeah.
So I probably would get, if they're going to be making a 812 convertible, that's the car for me.
Sure.
Because it's the V12 convertible.
It's not out yet, though.
It's not out yet, though. But
it's coming.
It's coming. Yeah. That's the one.
But current, you got to think current.
Well, I mean, okay, current. Okay, so it needs to be a convertible. That sounds good. That I feel.
You could have one of the F12.
So 5 cars.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's that. Fourth one would be a Cayenne.
Yeah.
Turbo. Daily. Drive it around and do what you got to do. And the last one would be the Tesla Roadster. Just because it's electric and something totally random.
It's also
but I mean, it's out though. I mean, you can reserve it now.
No,
but
you
can reserve it now.
He's saying if you want to...
Someone gave you unlimited funds.
Yeah, unlimited funds now.
And you buy all the cars
the fifth one is I have problems with. I don't know. I have to think about that. Fifth one. What?
Would you have like a track car or race car?
No, I wouldn't have a track car. I wouldn't have a track car. No.
Classic car?
No. Do you know what it is? I'd have a Rolls Royce.
Okay.
Of course.
Which one?
I'd have a Rolls Royce Phantom. But I'd have to have a driver with it.
Obviously.
I can't drive.
Otherwise, you'd get a Wraith.
Yeah, exactly. Otherwise, get a Wraith. But yeah, that's my 5 cars. That is the 5 cars. No, I'd get a Dawn. I wouldn't get a Wraith.
Okay. Yeah. Nice.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, yours.
Simple.
GT2, and a Turbo S.
I'd have part of my 5-car garage. I'm in the fortunate position to say right now that I have 2 of them already. So I'd have an M5 competition and a GT2 RS. Yeah, okay. I got those 2 already nailed. I would love a mint black on black Carrera GT. Yeah,
nice.
Which will be amazing. I would love a 993 GT2. Yeah, and the final thing, I would love a McLaren F1 GTR. I'm done. That's it.
Done. Lots of Porsches.
Yeah, that's all. I'm done. I'm done.
So yeah, F1 is a good shout, but
yeah, no, that is the ultimate. That is the ultimate.
I'm very I'm really going between F1 GTR or like a Tricolor or something.
Yeah, see, for me, it would have to be. Ironically, it won't be it will be an LT. I know people prefer the GTRs, the shorter ones.
The long one.
No, the McLaren F1, the long tail.
The long one, yeah.
Yeah, I love them. They perform better.
Yeah,
they're faster. No, I like the way it looks at the back. I like the shape.
I told you he's not human.
Yeah, no, I like the shape.
You do like the speed tail look then?
Yeah, I don't mind it. I like that.
I've always liked the shorter ones, but
exactly. So yeah, that's.
And they do drive.
I wouldn't say no to a GTR, but you know.
I didn't know you like the long ones.
I love the LT. You know, I love the long tail ones.
Okay, next question. There's a similar sort of vibe, but if you could drive one car for the rest of your life, you could only drive one car for the rest of life. Now there's one caveat on this one is you're allowed like a £500 like family estate, you know, like super cheap and rubbish to just get stuff done. Then you've got one car. What could it be? What would it be?
What sort of budget? You're saying?
Yeah, any budget. You got to drive it like every day and whatever.
So, but it depends on your lifestyle.
But hold on, you drive it every day though, yeah?
Probably.
Like it needs to be, or would you have a family car as well?
But you have like a really crappy family car, like £500.
Yeah.
So you could drive that every day if you wanted.
Oh shit! Okay.
So you'd have one car to drive every day for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
GT2 RS every single day, every single time.
Would you?
Every single. If I've got one car that I'm going to use, then you said you can have family car on the side. That's cheap. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mind that, as long as because I'm a petrol. I'm telling you, me personally, it sounds crazy. My dream car, besides McLaren F1 GTR or LT, whatever it is, has always been a GT2 RS.
Done.
Always has been. So I'm in a great place. For me, I'm done. Like, if I don't buy any other car after this, I'm cool.
You're happy.
I'm cool.
For me, it would be a Zonda. But I wouldn't drive it every day. I'd drive the shitter. And I'd have a Zonda parked up.
My answer is the Singer.
Singer, okay. Yeah,
so we're kind of close. It's close.
It's a Porsche.
Yeah. Because it's practical. You know what I mean? So
I realistically could drive that every day.
Yeah.
No, obviously, you know.
The new Singer is amazing. The DLS, what it was called.
That is unreal.
Oh, do you know what about the roof? Oh, the roofs are good, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah, the roof. Yeah.
For me, the interior needs to be zhuzhed up a little bit, but very cool.
Yeah, very, very cool.
Okay, next question. What do you see as the most undervalued car that you can think of at the moment? You think of a car that you feel like is undervalued?
720.
720. That's true. That's
genuinely, fair. I think that's the most undervalued car. 180 grand for a 720. Whether worth it or not, that's a whole other thing. But I just think it's undervalued. I think that car's
that
worth more.
That is a £300,000 car.
Yeah, it is. I think it's worth more.
Yeah.
I think it's worth more than 180 grand.
That's a very different way of looking at that question. I like that.
Yeah. Personally, I think Carrera GTs.
I think so.
I think Carrera GTs. I think Carrera GT.
What are they now? 500?
Well, it depends on what you. But
556.
But in the current stratosphere of value of cars, at that sort of value, it's just for what it is, which was Porsche's hypercar. It's a convertible. Yeah. It's a manual.
F1 engine.
It's a V10 Le Mans engine. You know, homologated for that purpose. It is amazing. The only thing I'd sit down is the clutch, but you need to get used to it.
It's nuts, that one, when you compare it to other Porsches that people are buying for stupid money, like ours. I mean, people were spending more on an R.
They're going 500 with
Carrera GT. Like, that's just a no-brainer of a decision.
I mean, Porsche guys might actually hate me for saying this. I was really underwhelmed with the R. As a Porsche guy, I'm sort of blown away. Yeah, cool car.
But then obviously the GT3 came out, and
therefore it had that shot on it.
And then it's like, but that's fine.
Yeah, I think
the R was not an expensive car.
Yeah, I think the GT3 Touring is the one to get if you want that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. But there we go. Yeah.
Right, and last question: what is the most interesting car, like this? I guess current car for you at the moment.
Interesting in what sense?
Like, what do you just find interesting? Like, you can pick a reason why you find it interesting or not.
I think for me it's a Valkyrie.
Yeah.
I think just the way it looks, just looks like it's a out of the future type of car. You know, it just doesn't look normal.
Sounds like it's gonna be my sort of car.
Yeah.
Like it's nuts, as in like it's got crazy air and stuff, but like kind of so what? Like that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But it's got 1,000 horsepower natural aspiration V12.
I'm just saying, like, but it's just but from a design perspective, for me, I'm just like, look at this thing. It just doesn't look normal. It doesn't look normal. That's for me the most interesting, I think.
I think I'd agree with that. I think.
Are you sure? It's not a GT2 MR or whatever it's called?
Yeah, Manti Racing.
Manti Racing GT2. Are you sure that's not the most interesting one at the moment?
No, I know what we're getting with that. You know, that is just very interesting for me. But I'm just saying,
that's
for something
let's
to
keep it at
up.
that. GT2 RS MR. That's what you're most interested. You got to be honest.
What as the word? If you put in brackets the word interesting, I'm really interested to know how that car's going to perform. Once it's done.
Like if I was about to buy a car, for example, like this week or something, I'd be like, what are you Googling? What are you looking up on YouTube? And it would be like reviews or like
GT2
videos
SMR, and I can't wait to see Chris Harris's video.
Yeah, that's coming.
Because I'm keen to see, because I've owned it standard, I've owned it with a semi-skimmed version from Manthai, and now on the full fat version. So let's just see how that works out. Yeah, well, there we go. Yeah.
Well, awesome. I think we're gonna have to wrap up.
Yes.
Because time is getting on.
Yeah.
It's been. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Having me around. Hopefully,
it's been fun.
The video pans out. The cameras are still recording, so there will be something going on.
Yeah.
If we can patch all the audio together.
Nice.
We've got loads of audio. We've got loads of audio devices.
Yeah.
And then if you get those cars together at some sort of track day,
I'll definitely let you know. 100%. 100%.
We've got to do it.
And that'll be a good continuation to what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
And if the GTRS MR does kick their asses, then you've got the greatest car in the world.
I think since you're about to have the greatest car in the world, you're going to have to take me out in the greatest car in the world.
Absolutely. That's a deal.
God.
That's a deal.
Yeah.
That's a deal.
Yeah, and then when I get my Tesla Roadster, I'll whip your ass,
in 2042.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, when I'm 100 years old. Yeah.
Nice.
Cool.
All right.
That's a wrap.
Okay.